Ladies and gentlemen, we got a new video. What's it called? From Bay Talks, the Speedster problem in Invincible. We've been enjoying a lot of Invincible content right now. A lot of creators making Invincible stuff, which makes sense because, it's just editing it. A great show. Probably the best superhero show out right now. Let's get right into it. Stay tuned for later on. I'm going to tell you how to make some money off just playing games. So stay tuned.
Invincible thought they were being sneaky, but I called it. You're not slipping past me. There were two scenes in Season 3 that caught my eye, and they change everything about the Invincible show.
Oh, this is called the Speedster problem in Invincible, which I think is something that we should cover because I've always thought there's a Speedster problem in general. I've been said that.
Invincible thought they were being sneaky,
check it out.
But I called it. You're not slipping past me. There were two scenes in Season 3 that caught my eye, and they change everything about the Invincible show.
Of life, and I want you to know.
Okay, all done.
This confirms without a shadow of a doubt that Viltrumites have super speed. Not flight speed like when Omni-Man ripped up the Flaxen planet by building up his speed when flying, like legit Red Rush, the Flash, Quicksilver type speed. But the key is, they're not just fast. They can perceive time in slow motion and move normally, if not faster, within that perception. Anyone who has watched my other videos when I talk about speedsters know exactly what I'm talking about. But a good example of this is when the Flash fought at Batman in the 2023 Flash film. It takes zero skill for this. If you remember, this was Young Barry, and he had these powers for like a day. Another good example is literally any X-Men Quicksilver scene. You can go around with time almost completely frozen while being able to move freely in that perception. Same thing with Metro Man, who is a perfect example. He's kind of more of an Omni-Man or Superman type of character. All these speedsters that I listed can perceive time slowed because they're moving so fast that they have a faster perception and can move within that perception. So,
and this is I've said this in other videos on this channel, bro. The video where I reacted to the Justice League fight, where I go like, bro, I don't know why people don't speak about this more, but like, if you put a speedster into your show, understand you just made the most OP person. Unless everybody has super speed where nobody has super speed, or unless the person that they're, you've just made it where logically now there should be no issue for this person. Logically, there should be nobody stronger. It don't matter if it's, there should be nobody more capable of doing anything. And really, you're going to spend the rest of this person's character doing dumb things to handicap them. So it's not just because they can do everything. They're a speedster. They're Jesus.
You can see how overpowered that power is, right? Now, how do I know for sure that Oliver, Invincible, and the other Viltrumites have this type of super speed? Although they don't show us their perspectives on speed mode like the examples I gave, the actions they performed with their super speed can only be done with a fast perception. You can't just D-pants 3 people in a second at super speed without a fast perception. All while moving at super speed, you'd have to grab the pantalones, rip them off, and do that 3 times. Nor could Mark clean all this shit up in 1 second without it. I think there's another scene where Omni-Man used super speed to clean the living room when he's getting it in with Debbie, and I think Mark uses it too in a similar situation. I'll put the clips in if I find it.
Oh, hey, you're back early.
Turn off the lights first.
Also, with the Oliver clip,
it's the best way to use super speed. Now, y'all know I like putting y'all on, bro. It's back! I like putting y'all on ways to make money and fun ways to make money, man.
Here comes the money.
And I've been talking about free cash for a couple videos now, and some of y'all might just think it's just, oh, it's just another sponsor, just an ad. I've been having people hit me up with real feedback, talk about that they really get into that checking. I don't know how I gotta say it, but please listen up. This is not a joke. All you gotta do to sign up is use the link in the description or the QR code, and then you put in a password and an email, and that's it. After that, you can get right to making some money off playing games.
He ain't lying.
Now make sure you verify your email when you make an account so they can track your progress through the games. So scan the QR code or use the link in the description to create your account today, and then all you gotta do is beat levels to get your rewards, man. And once you start earning money, all I ask is that you come back and you let people know I put you on. I hooked it up, you in? But how did Debbie get done so fast? If they were cooking it, Omni-Man, she should have still been, you know what I mean?
How did Oliver eating concrete after failing his Ollie attempt hurt him at all? It even left a mark. Isn't this the same kid who smacked around the Mauler twins? I just thought that was kind of funny. For anyone still not understanding, I'll refer back to the Flash movie again. This movie was mid, but there were...
And how do you even mess up a skateboarding trick when you perceive everything slow? That skateboard should be moving... Once you're no longer touching the skateboard, like you flip it, it should be moving. So you should know, even if you mess your footing up, you should be able to have enough time to go, oh no, if I land with my foot there, it's going to mess up. Let me place it here. You know what I mean? if you perceive everything slow, once you ramp off, you basically just waiting to land, right? Like, but I know you're using your own speed. But that's why I said when the skateboard is no longer touching you, because someone might say, well, the skateboard is going to be going your speed, but not even necessarily if you're still on it and you're no longer propelling it. But anyway, you see how the science?
Or some good scenes to show what I'm talking about.
If I hit you in the past, will it hurt me in the future? Wait.
So, like the clip shows, it's a fraction of a second for everyone else, but for the Speedster, that shit's just regular time. You picking up what I'm putting down? Omni-Man has also shown his super speed a couple of times. So what am I getting at? Why does this all matter? Well, now that the show has given us enough evidence to prove that Viltrumites are speedsters and not just fast flyers, that means every scene where they get touched by someone who doesn't have super speed is BS. Yep. Now, let's go over some of the scenes that I'm talking about. First is Omni-Man versus Guardians of the Globe. Say what you want about this fight, pull out all the excuses you can. Omni-Man got beat within an inch of his life. You can say he wasn't going all out to make it look like someone attacked all of them, but I disagree. I think he actually struggled. Since he has super speed, he should have been able to take them all out within 2 seconds. This actually happened in the comics. In the comics, the Guardians get to the base, wonder what's going on, then boom, they all get smoked without ever even knowing what was happening. In the show, it's shown that Omni-Man is a good bit slower than Red Rush.
Okay, so see, that makes sense. So Red Rush is faster than Omni-Man, but in the comic, it makes more sense. The only person who should not... But no, it doesn't make sense. Damn it. You see how I just wrote myself into a corner because... As long as Red Rush is there, the rest of them shouldn't be able to perceive what Omni-Man's doing. But Red Rush should definitely. Red Rush should see, like, what is this nigga doing? Like, why is he running up here in here with a... And before he kills anybody, or maybe one person, Red Rush should be able to at least save those other people because he's faster than Omni-Man. Or go with Omni-Man, because Omni-Man shouldn't be able to touch him. All right, anyway.
And he needed to dial in to catch Red Rush's hand. He was also being hit by members of the Guardians who aren't speedsters, and Martian Man was able to wrap him up more than once, so none of this should have happened if Omni-Man has super speed. It should have played out more like the comics. There's a lot more scenes, but I'll just go over the ones that I can think of off the top of my head.
Makes sense.
Season 3, when Mark fought the Mauler twins and was hit by that nervous system gun while coming in. He should be able to get to them, break the gun, smack them in the lips, and call it a day in like 2 seconds tops.
Yep.
Another example is when Mark tried grabbing Cecil, but Cecil was able to bust out this remote, press the button.
I thought the same thing when I saw it too. It's like, there's no way he should be able to press that button before Mark could get to him. There's no way!
To activate the sound device, all before Mark could get to him.
It's bullshit.
Mark should be able to grab Cecil before Cecil even knew what was going on. When he and Eve fought Doc Seismic in Season 1, this guy has no powers, all he has is his bracelets, and he was working both of them. This was back in Season 1, so Eve might be weaker here, but she put up a significantly better fight against a much more powerful character in Conquest. Doc Seismic was also somehow faster than both of them with just the stupid bracelets. He should have been snatched up in a fraction of a second. And then when he was falling, Invincible somehow couldn't catch up to him before he blasted him away. And again, in Season 2, he pulls a Barry Allen and lets this guy give this huge, drawn-out evil monologue when he could just grab him right then. He deadass is just floating there doing nothing and letting him make a move. And then he somehow can't get to him before he uses bracelet blasts. And then we see this loser...
Yeah, you gotta have to just... When there's a speedster, I always go, okay, I get what's going to happen. They're going to just perceive speedster as somebody who's really fast and not somebody who breaks the space-time continuum. But all right, nigga.
Again in Season 3, and he's able to capture all of the superheroes on Earth.
Every superhero in America has been abducted.
Oh, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
They again let him give his huge evil monologue before doing anything.
And that's why they don't show it, because it doesn't make sense.
And then they let him call in whatever this worm thing is.
No way.
This thing must actually be pretty strong, so I'm not going to bash Invincible for getting worked here. But Invincible could have easily prevented all of this by just using his super speed to grab Doc Seismic before he does anything, but the plot said otherwise. When Mark confronted Machine Head called in some serious cavalry, and Mark got destroyed. It was okay for Battle Beast to wipe the floor with him, but everyone else should have been sent to the Shadow Realm with like one super speed juicer. And for Battle
Beast should not have been able to touch him, though. Battle Beast could be all the amount stronger he wants. He shouldn't be able to touch
Battle Beast, he doesn't have super speed, so he really shouldn't be able to grab Mark. Battle Beast was also somehow working the Viltrumites who were set to kill Omni-Man, even though, as we already found out, all Viltrumites have super speed. You could argue this is at super speed and we're watching it from their perspective, which I guess is possible, but those guards they fought while getting to Omni-Man definitely didn't have super speed and they were fighting them at regular speed. Battle Beast was also getting hit by and fighting Titan at regular speed. Titan does not have super speed. Another one is when the Reaniman jumped Nolan and actually worked him for a little while. A lot of people say he let the Reaniman hit him because he wasn't scared of them, but when they were nibbling on his nose, it looked like that shit hurt. And since he has super speed, he could have killed them all before they ever even touched him, or just launched them into space like Immortal did to that phony Vulture dude. These three Reanimen put up a better fight than the whole Flaxen planet. Remember when the Maulers were helping out Angstrom and Invincible busted in and had to fight like 8 Maulers? He could have soloed them with his super speed by hitting each one of them in the lips with one juicer strong enough to hold them down. To be honest, he didn't even need super speed for this. We saw what Oliver did to them, so Mark hitting them just hard enough to just knock them out shouldn't be that hard. Now, earlier I said they have legit super speed, not just flight speed. But in a lot of these situations I'm showing, Invincible is flying rather than running. So one might think he doesn't have super speed when flying, which is why he doesn't use it in these clips. And you'd be wrong.
Dang.
We saw Sinister Mark use super speed when flying when he grabbed Angstrom's son. The clip I showed earlier of Omni-Man grabbing the soldier, he was flying when he did this, and then when he attacked Donald, Donald swerved him and Omni-Man hit the wall, and while flying, he saw the debris and...
How do you see the debris in slow motion, but Donald was able to roll? Come on, man. Come on, man. Like I said, I love this show, and I'm still, obviously this ain't changing nothing for me, but it's not just an Invincible problem. This is just a problem with speedsters in general, and I wish that there was I'm sure there's probably some things out there that present speedsters in the correct way. There's not many. I've never seen. There should be a thing where the villain is a speedster, and then I think people would realize the OP nature of a speedster. Nigga, a real speedster, if you don't have somebody who's also super fast, you should lose every single time, no matter what your power is. Unless you literally have the Thanos a reality stone where you can literally just change reality where now he's not running fast, then you shouldn't. The only way to to beat a speedster is to bring another OP power. That's it. The only thing more OP than speedsters are niggas who can manipulate time, which is a speedster. So
in slow motion, further proving he has faster perception.
Space travel.
Future me here, while I'm editing this, I found a clip where Omni-Man straight up says Viltrumites have super speed as one of their powers. I can't put the clip because of the music in the background, but it's the scene where he's talking to Mark about Viltrum on the roof. So yeah, them being touched by or not being able to easily defeat non-speedsters on the regular is just wild. But back to the video. Another example was when Mark was getting bent over in front of the baddie Anissa. She showed him up by one-shotting this thing at super speed, and she was flying while doing it. She was also using super speed every time she hit Mark while she was dog-walking him. This is slightly off topic, but if I'm Mark and Anissa came down and told me to hand over Earth, I'm gonna be honest, I'm cracking. I'm giving it up for her. Anyways, remember back in season 1 when Mark first fought the Reaniman? I've come across a few comments saying these guys have a form of super speed, so it made sense that they challenge both Omni-Man and Invincible, but I disagree. For Omni-Man, we see them moving decently quick, but definitely not super speed. And then the one that fought Mark wasn't even able to grab regular speed humans. So again, these things should be nothing to Mark, and yet he got worked by them.
Bae, you chefing right now. I ain't gonna lie to you. You cooking a whole meal up.
Again, he could have just pulled an Immortal and went it out, launched him into space. And yes, he was strong enough and fast enough to do this by this point in the show. He even used his super speed a couple times in this fight against Reaniman. Like when he had the Reaniman in the air and hit him 3 times consecutively while zipping around. That's super speed. But out of all these, there was one scene that really ruffled my feathers the most when I watched it. When Mark fought Angstrom and was unable to...
I swear this is the same. I might have said this when I reacted to one of my videos about Angstrom, where I was just like, there is no way. And some people try to hand wave and be like, no, he was able to break her. He'd be able to break her neck before he get the... No, he absolutely, positively shouldn't even... Before... When one of his muscles contracts in his arm, Mark should be able to get to him before the second muscle before another muscle. He should get before that muscle is even done contracting to go towards Debbie. Mark should have been able to rip both of his arms off, do his taxes, and then take a nap and then come back. He should have had the time to do all of that.
Get to him before Angstrom could open a portal. This shit happened so many times, too many times. And in season 3, I was genuinely starting to tweak out. Angstrom's portals take a couple seconds to form, and in those couple of seconds, Mark should be able to grab him, just like he does to Cecil. But for multiple minutes, Angstrom was able to evade him and just make him look stupid. And the Robo Balls, I don't care what these things are made of, a million of them could barely move Mark, yet just one of them was able to somehow knock the variants into the portal. And at the end of the fight, when Mark had Angstrom by the throat and was...
I didn't even peep that. Yeah, no, that didn't make sense.
Was about to make the right decision and send him on a one-way first-class flight to the Shadow Realm. One of these Robo-Balls was somehow able to smack him hard enough in the lips to make him lose his grip on Angstrom's throat. This whole fight was BS. Mark, with his speed, can perceive time in slow motion, and he can do it while he's flying. In all of the situations I showed, he would see whoever he's fighting in slow motion and can move within that perception. He should be just dog-walking everyone. He would see these portals opening very slowly. He could walk around them, grab Angstrom.
Put it like this. If we can see the portals opening, Mark should be able to... come on.
Smack him in the lips with the juicer, and boom, it's over. His mom never gets hurt, the Invincible War never happens, and Rex never dies. Rest in peace, Rex. Even with all this evidence that I bring forth to the jury, a lot of people still don't seem to understand how super speed and fast perception works. You literally see everything in slow motion and can move in that perception. I don't know how many times I've said that, but I want to make sure you guys understand that. That's why it's so hard to write speedsters, because when you can essentially freeze time, everything is just on easy mode unless you're facing another speedster like the Flash and Reverse Flash, or a Viltrumite versus another Viltrumite. So them showing Viltrumites having super speed and fast perception in some scenes and then acting like it doesn't exist in other scenes when the plot needs it, it's bad writing. There's definitely more scenes that I'm not thinking of, so if you have any, then let me know in the comments. Don't get me wrong, I love Invincible. It's one of my favorites.
Like another one you forgot. When Eve got her leg broken in the Invincible War, there's... Oh, no, because it was another Mark, so Mark has super speed. I'm wrong. Sorry. Didn't even mean to bring it up.
Shows right now, and I think it's only going to get better with each season, and I'm excited each time a new episode drops.
I love the
but
show.
the power scaling in it is just sometimes ridiculous.
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted to rant about it. So, yeah. If you guys enjoyed this video, then hit the subscribe, like, and share button.
Nah, you was right about all of that. I love this show. The show is fire. It's probably one of my favorite things that have to do with superheroes that's been out in a while, but nah, you 100% right. That don't make no sense.